Overnight olfactory enrichment can improve the learning and memory in older adults. So this is a study that was just done. It was done by the neurobiology department at UC Irvine. And what they did was they had people put different scented oils in their water diffusers at nighttime for 2 hours every night for 6 months, and they noticed a 226% improvement on learning and memory, which is great for those of us who like to wear a bedtime perfume, because now there's actually a reason to do it other than because we want to and we like it. Okay, no study's going to be perfect, so let's talk about what the study was all about and what maybe some of the potential problems were. First of all, the sample size was quite small, the participant size. There were only 43 people that participated in the study. The second thing is that their data collection was interrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. So as soon as there were restrictions, they weren't able to follow up with the participants, but they tried to encourage them via Zoom or phone calls, and they collected data that way. After the restrictions were lifted, they did have people come in and do their MRIs and other tests that needed to be done so that they could evaluate the progress or the effect of them smelling things in their diffusers at nighttime. The control group was just smelling, distilled water, plain water, and then the other half of the participants were putting essential oils into their diffusers every night. There was rose, orange, eucalyptus, lemon, peppermint, rosemary, and lavender oils, and they used a different oil every single night for 2 hours over the course of 6 months. And the researchers were inspired by other studies that had been done that were kind of giving their participants olfactory stimulation, but during the day. And they studied using 40 different odorants 2 times a day, but then they thought that would be a big load for people to open and close 40 different bottles over the course of the day and smell things over the course of the day. So they wanted to see if they could have similar results, but only by exposing people in a passive way. And that's why they wanted to check what the results were if people just put, these oils, essential oils, in their diffusers at nighttime. The other potential problem with the study is that you're going to have selection bias. So selection bias is where, the people that are participating are going to have an interest in neurobiology or neuroscience, and they're going to be invested in the results. So compliance is going to be quite high. But that's a good thing, because that means that you're going to have hopefully accurate results. Whereas maybe if you tried to do that in your own house with elderly people or in a nursing home, you might not have as much compliance. You might have people that say they don't like the scents. One of the things that was really interesting is that they also checked the people for olfactory abnormalities before they started this study, which that was super interesting to me, because what if someone, couldn't smell rosemary or didn't like the scent of rose, but they checked all of that before they started the study. I don't know if they found anything. I didn't actually read the results of the study. I just read the paper that they wrote that talked about the study. So I will link the paper in the caption so everybody can read it for themselves if they want to. What I thought was really great was that there was an improvement in working memory. And working memory is, when you read a recipe and then you walk over to the fridge to grab the ingredients, you remembering what's on the recipe to get from the fridge, that's you using your working memory, right? And we can see how that declines as you get older, where you see, elderly people, at least people in my life, where you see them, go to the fridge and they forget why they opened the fridge, or they go to the grocery store and they forget why they're there, or, they set out on a walk and they forget where they're going or the route that they're supposed to take. So that all has to do with working memory. And we know that working memory can be impaired by things like depression or anxiety or ADHD, because there's intrusive thoughts that come in. But if there's a passive way to improve all those things, then that's actually good for everybody, right? If we can all improve our working and memory and our mental health and also improve our olfactory function, then that's pretty awesome. So when they did the MRIs on these people at the end of the study, they found that not only was their olfactory bulb larger, so that means it grew, but also other parts of their brain were improved as well, and they were able to link that to learning and memory. So that's pretty awesome. So now I'm going to talk about the 5 perfumes that I like to wear at bedtime, or that I recommend for bedtime. I don't always wear a bedtime perfume. A lot of the time I can still smell what I sprayed first thing in the morning, and I wouldn't recommend wearing anything too potent or too strong. I wouldn't go with like a pungent oud or an indolic orange blossom. I wouldn't go with like a barnyardy kind of scent, no civet or civet replacements, but these are all soft, pretty, easy to wear perfumes that you could wear at nighttime. Okay, let's start with the first one, maybe one of the more recent perfumes that I've added to my collection, and it is Bvlgari Petits et Mamans. This is a kid perfume. That's why it's in this cute little bottle with teddy bears and duckies on it. It's a water-based perfume. It says it's an eau de toilette. Quite soft, powdery. Really reminds me of baby powder and soft florals, and almost like baby oil also. Like, it really does smell like baby oil. So that is my number 1 option. And because it's so soft, like it's so soft during the day, I could maybe put 2 sprays of this. I wouldn't put very many sprays, but 2 sprays definitely. And I think I'll be able to smell it when I wake up in the morning. This is one of those perfumes I can't smell if I'm passive, like if I'm just sitting, but if I move around, I can smell it a little bit more. And I like that about it. So all the perfumes I've worn at nighttime, I like that I can smell them in the morning, but they're not that strong that I'm smelling them while I'm sleeping. I definitely wouldn't wear a gourmand or anything like that, because I find that so distracting while I'm sleeping for some reason. Okay, my second choice is Gucci Memoire d'une Odeur. I love this at nighttime. This has chamomile in it, which is known to be calming. It has jasmine. It makes me think of like a sunny picnic. Like, it's not grassy, but it's a little bit outdoorsy, but it's also kind of a functional smell. It's just very pretty, and just also a gorgeous bottle that would look really nice on your bedside table. So I like that one a lot too. That's Gucci Memoire d'une Odeur. The next one is Hiris by Hermes. This is not really a powdery iris. It's more of a rooty, earthy, floral iris. It's very cool. So I would like this for summer or hot summer nights. Again, not very long lasting at all, because I've had to wear, 5 or 6 sprays of this if I'm wearing it during the day. But that's okay. It's one of the ones that I just like to reapply if I want to smell it again. But it has carnation in it and rose in it. And then the dry down is just kind of a musky skin scent that you really can't smell very much. It has no sillage. I mean, none of these really have sillage or any kind of projection. I would still spray them maybe, half an hour or an hour before I go to bed. I wouldn't spray it right as I get into bed. You do want them to settle on your skin a little bit, or on your pajamas, whatever it is. But yeah, that's Hiris by Hermes. I think this is a bit of a slept on iris. I feel like people are really sometimes looking for such a lipsticky perfume when they're looking for an iris. But this does kind of remind me of Iris Silver Mist, because it's so cold and it's so rooty, right? And it's like very earthy. So I think it's a good iris. Yeah. Nothing mind-blowing, but just very nice and pretty. So that's Hiris. This is a cheapie in my collection. So this is Sarah Jessica Parker Stash, more of a woodsy perfume. I think there's ginger in the opening of this, but ginger is so fleeting. It's really just a top note, so you don't really smell it a lot. There's almost like a pistachio, like a nuttiness that's combined with the woods, but it's very soft. Like, this is still a soft perfume. It lasts, but it doesn't project. You would have to wear a lot of this. I mean, I have to wear a lot of this if I want other people to smell it, but I think that makes it perfect for nighttime. I think you could also go with something like Diptyque Tam Dao, which is, you know, really beautiful woodsy as well. The woods in this is like a cedar wood, so that again is super calming, and Tam Dao is super calming. I think they both have the same kind of vibe. I wouldn't go for anything like Santal 33. I just think that it's a very strong perfume. Anytime I've worn it, I've just felt like it's too much and too strong. You could also go with something musky like Glossier You. I've worn to bed, and I really like that because that's like a warm shower kind of scent. And if you like the ambrette in Glossier You, you might like it in Diptyque Fleur de Peau, so I think that would be a good bedtime scent. Le Labo Another 13 is another one that is kind of a skin scent because it's so musky, so heavy on the musks, but different kinds. But yeah, it's a little off topic, but SJP Stash, it's a good one if you have it in your collection. And the last one is the most expensive one, but why not? It's Bois d'Argent by Dior. This is a honeyed myrrh musk perfume. Definitely a skin scent, not very strong. You might think it's a waste to wear this at nighttime, but some people think it's a waste to wear it at all because you really can't smell it very much. At least I can't. When I did have a lot more of this, I literally showered myself in it because you couldn't really smell it otherwise. But I think that's what it's supposed to be. Like, it's not supposed to be very pungent or very potent. It's not supposed to encroach on anybody else's personal space, so that's always a good thing. But at the same time, anytime I've worn this, if I put it like in my arms or on the back of my knees, I can smell it when I get up the next day or if I'm moving around. So that's Bois d'Argent, the most expensive of the lot, but worth it if you have it. If you have it and you're looking for ways to use it, you can send it to me, or you can just wear it at bedtime. And it's good for layering too. I normally don't layer anything, but I'll layer this because I like smelling it every now and then. So that's it. Those are the 5 that I recommend. Let me know what your bedtime scents would be, or if you're going to start doing it now that you know that it can improve your memory or your mood or your cognition or your learning. Those are all things that most of us want to improve anyways, or keep, you know, working well. But yeah, that's it for me. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.